Hello, everyone. I'm Anita Bennett. Here's what's happening in LA this week. The streets of Los Angeles are now safer thanks to a joint effort between the LAPD and the U.S. Marshals. Operation North Star resulted in the arrest of violent offenders here and in other cities. Take a look.
The U.S. Marshal Service has conducted a nationwide high-impact fugitive apprehension initiative focusing on the country's most violent offenders in 10 cities. This 30-day initiative, called Operation North Star, resulted in the arrest of almost 200 fugitives, gang members, sex offenders, and violent criminals in the Los Angeles area. Operation North Star concentrated on fugitives wanted for the most serious, violent, and harmful offenses, such as homicide, sexual assault, robbery, and aggravated assault.
47 firearms, both rifles as well as handguns, including ghost guns, were recovered by the task force. Those 47 represented the highest number of guns seized across the various 10 cities. 61 murder suspects were also captured and will be brought before the criminal justice system, and that was the highest number of murder suspects on any of the 10 cities. And the critical arrest of these individuals is meant to bring some measure of comfort, some measure of assurance to both victims and their families of violent crime that the criminal justice system, the Los Angeles Police Department, the U.S. Marshal Service will do everything within its power to bring before the criminal justice system those responsible for these heinous crimes.
Como pueden ver, estas personas son individuos muy violentos. Muchos de ellos también tienen antecedentes anteriores y si los dejamos en la comunidad, lo más probable es que van a reofender a otra persona. Deberíamos tener un lugar donde podemos trabajar, vivir y visitar aquí en Los Ángeles sin tener que enfrentar este tipo de crimen.
We wanted to make an impact in the community on crime and violent crime in particular.
Historically, our agencies have worked best when we bring added resources and not just funding. While funding is important, what's also critical going forward is that the U.S. Marshal Service continue to grow in its size so that these type of task force and operations can continue and have the type of results that we're seeing here.
I just also want to say the U.S. Marshal Service remains committed to assisting state and local law enforcement with reducing violent crime in our communities. And as Chief Moore said, we do this through our Regional Fugitive Task Force, where we have local agencies working with federal agencies, and together we multiply our resources and we try to arrest the most violent criminals.
Later in the program, we'll see how Angelenos are showing gratitude to these men and women who work tirelessly to keep our city safe. How do you turn a parking lot into something grand? With insistence and persistence. City and county leaders came together for the ribbon cutting of the Conrad, a new building downtown that boasts 20% affordable housing. Take a look.
I'm so proud to stand here among all of you to celebrate the opening of Conrad.
You know, this is a special development. It's special because of its place. It's literally in the crossroads of downtown Los Angeles. And this was just a parking lot. It's across from our music center, across from Walt Disney Hall, catty corner from the Broad. The Colburn School is next door. And it could have just been built all luxury, hotel, housing. But we negotiated, since this was public land, to make sure that 20% of this is for low-income residents to be able to come into downtown and maybe to be able to stay in downtown. And that's so critical because somebody working in this hotel shouldn't have to commute for 2 hours. Somebody who built this hotel shouldn't have to live a county or two away simply because there's not enough housing. So my message is loud and clear. Continue raising great buildings like this, but do it with a conscience and do it in a way that really touches all Angelenos.
I'm excited because the Grand LA will have over 400 units of housing, of which 87 are affordable units.
Not 5%, not 10%, not 15%, but 20% affordable housing. 20% affordable housing, folks.
And people are scratching their heads saying, how did that happen? Insistence, persistence, and in Spanish we say ganas. Ganas is that fire in the belly that says, come on, we got to make it happen. And we did.
When we started this project, it was always about embracing elements of downtown LA and creating its own unique DNA that would meld into an iconic building of Frank Gehry. I hope to bring some interesting spaces and vistas to you, and through texture, layers, and warmth, create a space that the guests and the neighborhood would ultimately embrace.
The county, when it said we wanted to take a parking lot and turn it into something grand, look around. You want to know what history feels like? This is what history feels like. Because it's not just infrastructure, it's human infrastructure, it's humanity.
Under construction since 2017 and delayed due to the pandemic, the Washington Irving Pocket Park in Council District 10 has finally been reopened. It's complete with a playground, amphitheater, and amenities, and the venue will bring together the community.
So today we had the grand reopening of the Washington Irving Pocket Park. This was under construction since 2017 because of the pandemic. It got delayed like a lot of other city projects. So today we reopened the park. We have a new playground as well as this amphitheater. The Pocket Park is adjacent to the library, which they have access to have their programs here at this Pocket Park.
We consider these parks to be just a special, quiet place that parents can bring their kids, adults can come. We have wonderful amenities here, tables and chairs and a little amphitheater and a beautiful play area for the children. Generally, these parks don't have staff, but it's just an opportunity for the community to come in from dawn to dusk to have leisure and to read a book or just sit and be quiet.
We are here at this wonderful pocket park because our organization, in conjunction with the United Neighborhood Council, worked with Herb Wesson's office, council member of CD10, to transform this pocket park, into what you see today. And so we built this beautiful park here today. As you notice, we have about 6 trees here. So while we're standing in the shade under the playground now, in years to come, we'll be able to come here and enjoy a very shady area, a shady environment.
We have some of our neighborhood councils here, and they have a community program going on right next door. Some of our small businesses have a booth there. There's food and activities for the kids right next door.
There can be a lot of activities that can bring the community together at this park.
To learn more about activities and events in city parks or libraries near you, you can visit laparks.org or lapl.org. Council District 9 is offering free financial education workshops to give Angelenos the tools they need to improve their financial futures. Here's that story.
Today we're here at our financial education workshop. We want to educate folks, especially in District 9, that are predominantly Latino and African American. We want to give them the tools necessary to establish a better finance future for themselves and for future generations.
It's one of the elements that is just not taught enough in our community.
This is needed because many folks in predominantly low-income communities are living paycheck to paycheck.
We kind of learn financial literacy by trial and error. And I think anytime you can bring a level of education and awareness to the community is always going to be a benefit.
It's a free workshop to the community. Anyone, everyone is welcome. You don't have to live in CD9.
We're going to have a workshop every single week for the next month. If people want more information, they're more than welcome to contact our district office at 323-846-2651.
LA Animal Services launches a website with resources for pet owners. LAX and Long Beach airports receive grants to improve terminals. And the 2023 California budget has some big benefits for LA. These stories up next on City Beat.
LA Animal Services announced the launch of a website where Angelenos can find free and low-cost pet services in a user-specified area. The site brings together information for pet owners on resources such as training, pet food pantries, and low-cost veterinary care. The cost of pet care can be challenging for pet owners and may result in owners surrendering their animals to shelters. To find local resources for pet support, visit pets.findhelp.com. Los Angeles International Airport and Long Beach Airport will receive multi-million-dollar grants for terminal improvements. The grants are part of a $1 billion nationwide program funded through the Federal Bipartisan Infrastructure Law. The goals of the funds are to expand terminals, increase energy efficiency, and provide greater ADA accessibility across the country. LAX and LGB will collectively receive $60.6 million for the reconstruction of terminal roadways, creating safer and more accessible terminals. Visit flylax.com to find out the latest on traveling to, from, and around LAX. Mayor Garcetti announced that LA will see many economic benefits as a result of the signing of the California state budget for 2022 to 23. $144 million is allocated to address homelessness, with funding for Project Homekey to purchase hotels and motels for those who are unhoused. $1.2 billion over 2 years will be provided to the ports for freight-related infrastructure. $1.83 billion will be invested in Southern California transit projects, with an additional $1 billion for active transportation projects. Some local projects that will benefit from the budget include the Los Angeles Cleantech Incubator, the Watts Empowerment Center, and many others. To find out more about the projects and investments in LA communities, visit lacity.gov.
Since 2003, Operation Gratitude has been a way to give back to the men and women who dedicate their lives to keeping us safe. This year, volunteers in Council District 12 put together care packages for LAPD, LAFD, and CHP officers in an effort to say thanks. Let's take a look.
How many of you have been a part of this before with Operation Gratitude? Wow, thank you for coming back. Continue to come back, continue to bring your friends and family.
Operation Gratitude normally puts together care packages to send overseas to the men and women who are serving our country, to remind them, that how much we appreciate what they're doing. But today's special because we're delivering all 5,000 packages we're going to assemble today. They're all going to LAPD, LAFD, and CHP officers to show them how much we appreciate what they do and that they're our local heroes.
I've been volunteering with Operation Gratitude for probably about 5 years now. It's just a great opportunity to give back to those that serve our community, first responders, those that serve our country. Please come out and give back. You will feel awesome.
It makes me feel really fulfilled and like I'm being useful and giving back. So that's super important to me.
We started back in 2003. Our founder, Carolyn Blaszczyk, was really struck by someone who was serving. And as he was talking to Carolyn, he said, I'm getting ready to go off to war, and I don't think, I don't think I'm coming back, and I don't think anyone cares. And that was the moment that Operation Gratitude was born. And so she started sending care packages. And over this many years, since 2003, we've really impacted over 3.5 million service members, first responders around the world.
I've been a recipient of some of these care packages in the past. And when you see the notes that are written inside the care packages, it means a lot. It shows that somebody cares.
Right over here, we have a bunch of people that are going to be writing letters to really let them know how much we appreciate the job that they do.
These care packages are so meaningful to them that Americans are saying thank you in such a meaningful way. Our country will always need them. And we also know they'll always need to know that what they do matters to us.
Council District 1 held its 11th reunification of families at City Hall. This was the first ever that included families from Guatemala. Now, some of the attendees hadn't seen their family members in decades, and this event provided a chance for them to hug their loved ones and share time together. Here's that story.
This is the 11th reunification of families. These are short-term visas so that people can come and see their loved ones, many who have not seen them for over 2 decades, in some cases 3 decades. And so it's a very moving event. It's very emotional, as you can see. Everyone's teary-eyed. First time we bring Guatemalan families. We've brought Mexican families here and united them. And so we're happy to be here with these families. Council District 1 is proud to make this part of our service to the city of Los Angeles. So I'm proud of what this district has responded to. It's a career that we're proud of. I'm proud of my team.
También yo me siento muy contenta porque tengo mis dos hijos aquí y mis nueras y mi nieto, porque estoy reunida con ellos de tantos años que me dejaron abandonada solita, pero por algo va que querían salir adelante ellos y darme a mí mi gasto.
Lo más importante es aprovecharla a ella y estar con ella y abrazarla y besarla, pues lo que hicimos ya fue lo primero y pues, por tanto tiempo que hemos estado apartados de ella. Y ahorita pues nos queda pues disfrutar el tiempo que va a estar con nosotros.
Well, this event, like the other 10 that we've done, are just very emotional because it's bringing people together and people who, in many instances, 30 years have not seen family members, don't know what's happened. Think of what's happened in 30 years. Imagine not seeing your children or your grandchildren. You've never seen them. Imagine hearing messages of losing your family on this side of the border and you weren't able to be here. So bringing these people together is extremely emotional, heartwarming, and something that we're very proud of, and we're proud that we have been unwavering in our commitment to uniting families and lifting the spirit of the human condition in the city of angels. We're proud to be part of it.
Did you know the Leonis Adobe was the city's first site designated a local historic landmark? Built in the 1870s by Miguel Leonis, it reflects the earliest development of the San Fernando Valley. Now, thanks to the Los Angeles Cultural Heritage Commission, this piece of LA history was saved for everyone to enjoy. Let's take a look at this first part of our ongoing celebration of the Commission's 60th anniversary.
We are standing at the Leonis Adobe, which is City Historic Cultural Monument number 1, the very first site to be designated a local historic landmark in Los Angeles. The Leonis Adobe reflects the earliest development of the San Fernando Valley. There's so many layers of history here at this site.
Miguel Leonis was what we consider a land grabber. When Miguel Leonis decided to occupy the space, he built the Leonis Adobe house in the early 1870s. He had claimed this land here. The government included this land as available for homesteaders. Well, Miguel couldn't let that happen, so he found an existing adobe structure on the property dating back to 1844, and instead of saying, I'm going to build a new house, he said, no, there's already an existing structure there. I'm renovating the house. And he built the Leonis Adobe specifically so that this land would not be given up to homesteaders.
Los Angeles, in the early 1960s, a period of large growth and development, it was going to be demolished. It required the passage of the city's Cultural Heritage Ordinance in 1962 that would enable the preservation of this site and sites like this.
The Los Angeles Heritage Commission is what saved this property and saved a piece of Los Angeles history.
In this week's feature story, I sit down with Hollywood Walk of Fame producer Anna Martinez. We discuss the landmark's past, its future, and the stars that have drawn the biggest crowds. The Hollywood Walk of Fame is one of the most iconic landmarks in California. Joining us now to talk about the popular attraction's past and its future is Anna Martinez. You are the producer of the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Correct.
So you just announced your class of 2023. Tell us about it. Who's on the list?
We've got 24 new honorees. Jenny Rivera, the late Jenny Rivera will be one, the late Paul Walker. And those two have gotten a lot of traction. People love them and they're very excited. And I expect huge crowds for those. We selected Lenny Kravitz, the Pentatonics, Uma Thurman, quite a few amazing celebrities.
How long ago did the Walk of Fame begin?
The Walk of Fame began in 1960. There were a couple of chamber executives, Harry Sugarman and E.M. Stewart. And they used to get asked, where are the stars? We don't see any stars. So they thought, yeah, we need to get some stars out here.
In terms of the popularity, I think I've read that this is like one of the top 5 most popular landmarks, tourist spots in California.
It's number 2
wow.
in California. And before COVID, I don't know what the numbers are now, but before COVID, it was 10 million a year that would come and see it.
And tell folks how they can find out where a star is located.
Oh, we have a website, walkoffame.com. We have these maps that they can come to the office and get. So when you nominate someone on walkoffame.com, you have to have permission, first of all, from the celebrity in writing. Then we vote, the committee votes in June, and it's a $55,000 sponsorship fee. The majority of that money goes to a group called the Hollywood Historic Trust, and they repair and maintain the stars. The rest of the money goes to the making of the star, the breaking up of the square, making the star, security, a plaque, the whole production setup, everything. And that's where the rest of the money goes for a free event that we give to the tourists and fans.
Anna Martinez, producer of the Hollywood Walk of Fame, thank you so much for coming in. You've just been a wealth of information.
Thank you.
Enjoy a free harbor boat ride tour at the Port of Los Angeles, learn about indigenous literature at the annual Cielo Conference, or get ready to dance at the DTLA Salsa Festival. All this up next on Things to Do.
Have you ever wanted to know what the busiest port of America looks like? Thanks to the free harbor boat tours at the Port of Los Angeles, you finally can. The boats will depart from the Los Angeles Maritime Museum and will consist of a 1-hour-long, fully narrated tour where attendees will be able to get an up-close look of the Vincent Thomas Bridge, cargo and cruise ships, as well as active wildlife in the Port of Los Angeles. Everyone is welcome on these free, first-come, first-served harbor boat tours. All tours will depart from the Los Angeles Maritime Museum on Saturday, July 30th, every 30 minutes, starting at 10:30 a.m. until 3 p.m. For more information, visit lawaterfront.org. If you're interested in learning about literature from indigenous people that seldom reaches mainstream media, come to the Central Library for the Indigenous Language and Literature Conference. Cielo Comunidades Indigenas en Liderazgo will be hosting this unique annual conference that aims to create a space for people of color to showcase their work to a wider audience. The Indigenous Language and Literature Conference will take place at the Mark Tabor Auditorium inside the Central Library on Saturday, July 30th, starting at 1 p.m. For more details, check out lapl.org/events. Calling all dance enthusiasts. Pershing Square in downtown LA is holding a salsa festival with an amazing lineup of artists to get you moving your feet until the sun goes down. Dance to the music from Adolescentes Orquesta, Guico y La Tribu, Susie Hansen Latin Band, Clave Dura, and DJ Charlie. There will also be food vendors and a beer garden for adults to enjoy. Anyone can attend the DTLA Salsa Festival for free, but early online registration is highly recommended for guaranteed entrance. It will take place on Saturday, July 30th from 3 p.m. until 11 p.m. at Pershing Square. For more information and to get free tickets, look up DTLA Salsa Festival at eventbrite.com. And that's a look at some things to do.
And that's it for this edition. I'm Anita Bennett. From all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. And a reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more of LA This Week.